Okay, let's just get right into it. We've all seen them, right? The stories, the screenshots, these incredible tales of turning a few $100 into a fortune with penny stocks. But what's the real story here? Is this some kind of secret path to wealth, or is it something else entirely?
I mean, that's the dream, isn't it? The idea that you can find the next big thing when it's trading for pocket change and just ride that wave all the way to the top. This is the fantasy that pulls millions of people into this world. But before we get too swept up in the dream, let's just ground ourselves with one single, absolutely staggering number.
$18 billion. That's how much money regular investors lose on penny stocks. And that's not over a decade. That's every single year. It's this massive, consistent transfer of wealth, which really makes you wonder, if so much is being lost, where is it all going? And why do people keep playing this game?
So, before we go any further, we really need to get crystal clear on what we're even talking about. What exactly is a penny stock? Let's define the battlefield here. The really crucial point here isn't just the price tag, it's where these stocks trade. Unlike the giants on the New York Stock Exchange, most penny stocks live on what's called the over-the-counter, or OTC markets. And these markets, they have far looser rules, way less required financial reporting, and almost no oversight. This is the Wild West of the stock market, and believe me, that lack of regulation is a feature, not a bug, for the people who profit from it.
All right, let's forget the hype and all the wild success stories for just a minute and look at the cold, hard math. Because in the world of penny stocks, the numbers tell a story that the promoters really don't want you to hear.
Just look at these odds. As a retail investor trading major regulated stocks, you've got about a 1 in 3 chance of making a winning trade. Not bad, right? But with penny stocks, your win rate just plummets to 11%. You are starting the game at a massive disadvantage before you even consider anything else.
And it's not just about the trades, it's the companies themselves. A full 60% of these stocks are on a direct path to becoming totally worthless within just 3 years. Just think about that. The majority of these companies effectively fail and disappear. And that other 40%? That's not profit. That's just the pool of stocks that haven't died yet.
So here's the engine of the problem. When you combine an 89% loss rate with the massive hidden costs we're about to cover, the math just collapses. Over time, it becomes a mathematical certainty that the average person is going to lose money.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This is the official warning from the SEC, the top financial regulator in the entire country. When the referees of the game are telling you to be prepared to lose everything, it's probably a good idea to listen.
So we've seen the math is terrible, but it actually gets worse. This isn't just a naturally risky market. In a lot of cases, it's a machine that is actively engineered to make you lose through straight-up fraud and costs that you probably don't even see.
Okay, this is the classic scam. First, insiders grab a ton of shares for pennies. Then they unleash a massive marketing campaign. Emails, social media, hype everywhere. New investors see this and they pile in, which pumps up the price. And then the original insiders dump all their shares on the newcomers at that inflated price, take all the profit, and just vanish. The stock collapses and everyone else is left holding the bag. How effective is this scam? Well, the SEC did a study and found that people who buy stocks promoted through spam emails lose, on average, 5.5% of their money in just 2 days. The promotion itself is the signal that the game is already rigged against you.
Next up is a hidden cost that just bleeds investors dry, the spread. That's the difference between the buy price and the sell price. On a quality stock, it's tiny, but on a penny stock, it can be huge. Just look at this. By executing a $5,000 trade, you could be down $400 instantly. You have to make an 8% gain just to get back to zero.
And here's another hidden trap. When you want to sell, there just might not be enough buyers. So as you're trying to get out, the price keeps falling because your own selling is tanking the stock. The price you thought you were getting just evaporates, and your actual selling price ends up being far lower. It's like a one-way door. Easy to get in, but almost impossible to get out clean.
So if the math is a total disaster and the system is filled with fraud and hidden costs, why on earth are penny stocks so popular? Well, it's because they are perfectly designed to exploit all the little glitches in our own thinking.
This right here, this is the bait, the legendary survivor stories. Everyone points to companies like Apple or Monster that once traded for pennies, but this is classic survivorship bias. For every one of those that makes it, there are thousands that go to zero, We just never hear their stories. Focusing only on the winners gives us a completely warped sense of the real odds.
And these are the weapons used against us. The lottery ticket fallacy makes us crave that tiny chance of a massive payout. Anchoring bias makes a 50-cent stock feel cheap even if the company is worthless. And social proof from online forums makes us feel like we're part of a winning team, even when we're all just heading for a cliff.
Okay, so penny stocks are a minefield. But what if you still want that high growth potential? The good news is there are far superior, regulated, and structurally sound ways to go after it.
So here are some real strategies. Instead of betting on one tiny, unregulated company, a small-cap ETF gives you diversified exposure to hundreds of them. Options on great companies can provide leverage, but with defined risk. Even IPOs, while risky, involve companies that have to face intense regulatory scrutiny. These are legitimate, regulated tools for seeking growth.
Let's just put it all together. While a tiny handful of penny stocks become huge successes, some experts estimate that up to 99% of them ultimately fail. Those are not investment odds. They're not even gambling odds. Your financial goals, your retirement, your future, they all deserve a much, much better chance than that.
And at the end of the day, that's the takeaway. The stock market is one of the most powerful wealth creation tools ever invented. But it's filled with different games, and you have to know which one you're playing. The penny stock game is designed for you to lose. The real opportunities for growth are definitely out there. They just don't live in the unregulated Wild West of the OTC markets.